So in the previous class, we have find out the loss of head due to friction in the pipe. So loss of head due to friction in the pipe falls in the category of a major loss I have told you in the previous class. So there are certain kinds of energy losses we will study in the case of the hydraulics and pneumatic subject. So some category of the losses which are being occurred within the flow of the pipe falls in the category of the major energy loss, and some the losses falls in the category of the minor energy losses. So the first kind of loss we have studied in the previous class, that is a loss of head due to friction, was the loss that falls in the category of the major energy loss. So we have derived the equations, and coming back to the previous slide. So it was the HF, that is loss of head due to friction, is equal to 4 FLV square by 2 GD. So this is the value of the loss of head due to friction we have find with the expressions using the Darcy-Weisbach equation. So this expression is known as, this expression, that is 4 HF is equal to 4 FLV square by 2 GD. So this F is coefficient of friction. Value of the coefficient of friction is always less than 1. So L is the length of the pipe, that is from the section 1 1 to section 2 2, from where we have measured the total head at entry and total head at exit to the length of the pipe at which we have considered the loss of head, that is entry and exit point. So that distance between entry and exit point is considered as the length of pipe, that is small l. V is the mean velocity of the flow of fluid, that is which is flowing in between the pipe. G, you all know, is acceleration due to gravity, and its value is always 9.81 meter per second square. And D is the diameter of the pipe, which is being used to find out the loss of the head. So this equation is called, that is, you can see in the slide that this is called Darcy-Weisbach equation. That is the scientist who were invented this formula. The equations become on their name, that is called Darcy-Weisbach formula, and this is equation is due to the loss of is due to the friction, and can get by using the formula that is called the Darcy-Weisbach equations. So we all know that whenever a water flows in the pipe, it experiences some resistance to its motion, and due to which its velocity and ultimately the head of the water is being reduced. That is, if we are encountering with the reduction in the velocity, that is, there is a reduction in the kinetic head, and ultimately there is a decrease in the total head. So the amount of decrease in the total head results in the loss of energy or loss of head in the pipe. So the loss of head terms in the falls in the category of the two categories. First is a major loss and second is a minor loss. So major loss, we have read the first equation, that is the Darcy-Weisbach equation. Today we will do Judge's formula, that is the major energy loss. That is how we will the calculate the loss of head due to friction if the mean velocity through the pipe and also the value of Judge's formula is constant, that is C, and the value of M for the pipe is, for the circular pipe, is always D by 4. What is M? It is, M is hydraulic mean depth. We have read this in the starting of the chapter, that is M is hydraulic mean depth, that is it is the wetted area to the wetted parameter, that is A by P. So for the cylindrical pipe, it is always equal to pi by 4 d square divided by pi by 4 2 pi d. So it will always be calculated as d by 4 for the cylindrical pipe. In the case of the minor losses, there are five kinds of losses which falls in the category of minor losses. First one are the sudden expansion of pipe, that is if there is sudden increase in the diameter of the pipe, that is if at a certain distance from point A to B, the diameter is, let us say, 10 mm. But whereas when you are moving from point B to C, that is the third point of the pipe, the diameter start increasing from point B to C, so that there is some loss of head in the flow of water, so that results in the loss of head. So that is due to the sudden expansion of the pipe. So there is sudden increase in the diameter of the pipe. Second one is the second sudden contraction of the pipe. So sudden contraction of the pipe means, so if we are considering the 3 points in the pipe, that is A, B, and C. So let us say the diameter from A to B is constant. That is, let us say it is 10 mm. And whenever we are moving from point B to C, the diameter is reducing from 10 mm to 8 mm. So due to the sudden contraction of the pipe, the diameter is reducing. So sudden contraction of the pipe, there is also a loss of head due to that contraction, so that sudden contraction of pipe, that loss is always falls in the category of the minor energy losses. So due to these losses which we are studying, there is a lesser amount of energy losses being experienced when the water is, or when any fluid is flowing from one point to another point. But the loss of head due to friction is falls under the category of a major loss. That is, due to this frictional force, there is a lot of loss is being experienced when the fluid is being flowing from one end to other end. Third kind of minor loss is the bend in the pipe. Whenever there is any bend in the pipe, may occur due to some mishandling of the pipe in industry, or due to some any accidental bending in the pipe, or there is some unintentional bending in the pipe, so it always results in the minor energy losses. Next is the pipe fitting. So what are the pipe fitting? When you are moving water from one end to other end, so the size of the pipe comes in the certain sizes. So certain sizes means, in the market the pipe comes in the size of the length, 3 feet length, 6 feet length, or 9 feet length. But at certain points you have to uh, fix the, or to transport the water from one end to other end in your home at a distance of 10 feet. So then you have to connect the two pipes. So the connection between two pipes is generally being done with the help of the pipe fittings. That pipe fittings may be in that shape, T shape, if you are uh, transporting the water from one end and receiving the water from one end and transporting that water to the two different ends, that's on the left hand side and on the right hand side. Then that point you are fitting the pipe fitting, that is the T shape pipe fitting in that pipe. So this is the so like if you are transporting the water from one end to the right hand side to the other end of the pipe. So that is then there you are using the L shape or edge shape pipe fitting. So this is called the pipe fittings kind. So these are certain example of the pipe fittings. So due to fitting of these pipe fittings within the pipe, there is some loss of energy due to this pipe fitting. So this uh, loss always falls in the category of the minor energy losses. Next is any obstruction in the pipe. Any obstruction being there is some, if there are some dust particles, or if there are some stones within the flow of the liquid, and which are being flowing with the flow from one end to other end, then that obstruction is always decreasing the head that is being transported from one end to other end. So there is always be some reduction in the total head at entry to the total head at exit. So this is due to the obstruction in the pipe. So we have read there are certain five kinds of losses due to which there is some minor energy losses are being experienced when the fluid is flowing from one end to other end. First one was sudden expansion of pipe. Second one was sudden contraction of pipe. Third is a bending in the pipe, any bend in the pipe. Fourth is the pipe fitting, and last one is any obstruction in the pipe. First one major losses were that the loss of head in the uh, loss of head in the fluid or fluid flow is due to the frictional forces which is being experienced due to the some resistance to its motion in between the layers of the motion of the liquid, and as well as the in between the layer and inner portion of the pipe. So this is the called the due to the friction and calculated by the formula, that is Darcy-Weisbach formula and the Chadwick formula. Darcy-Weisbach formula we have read in the previous class, that is 4FLV squared by 2GD. Now using the, now coming on to the next formula, that is called the Chadwick formula. We have, so is it clear to you? Is it visible to you, students? So this is Darcy-Weisbach formula.
Yes, sir.
So in the Darcy-Weisbach formula, we have this HF is equal to 4FLV squared by 2G, as I have told you in the at the start of the class. So where HF is a loss of head due to friction, F is a constant of friction, which is a function of the Reynolds number. We'll study Reynolds number. Uh, Reynolds number we'll study in the today's class only. So next we are on to the Judge's formula for calculating the loss of head due to friction. So referencing the previous equation, that is HF is equal to 4FL V square by 2G GD, in the citing the previous equilibrium propelling force due to the pressure difference and the frictional resistance exists. So the P1 minus P2 into A is equal to F dash P into L into V square. We have calculated this equilibrium equation in the previous Darcy equation also, that is difference in the pressure into the area is always equal to the frictional distance into the wetted parameter into length of the pipe, that is from entry to exit, and V is the mean velocity, square of the mean velocity. So it is P1 minus P2 into A is equal to F dash into P into L into V square. And coming back to the next step, we are dividing uh, by weight on both hand side of the equation. So it becomes P1 minus P2 by W into A is equal to F dash by W into P into L into V square. So we always know that HF is equal to P1 minus P2 by W. That is the head, that is the pressure head is always equal to P1 minus P2 difference is equal to by W is equal to HF. So we are putting the value of P1 minus P2 by W into A, or rather leaving the A, P1 minus P2 by W is putting it as HF. So HF becomes equal to F dash by W, and we are rearranging the A was multiplying in the left hand side equation, it will divide on the right hand side. So it becomes F dash by W into P by L into V square, where HF is, that is loss of head due to friction, area A is the area of cross section, L is the length of the pipe, and V is the mean velocity of flow of fluid from the entry to the exit point. So M is the, so what is M? It is our hydraulic mean depth. I have told you in the earlier also, that is A by P, that is area upon P, wetted P. So wetted perimeter, so this is pi by 4 d square by pi d. So it comes out to be d by 4. Similarly, you can see we are substituting the value of A by P here. It is d by 4. So it is d by 4. D by 4. So substituting the value of A by P is equal to M. So substituting the value of A by P is equal to M. So this becomes equal to P, but in the equation we have, you can see the cursor of the mouse. So it is P by A. We'll put the value of P by as 1 by M. So it is HF is becomes equal to F by W into 1 by M into L into V square. And then V square, calculating the value of the V square, we have, you can see we have V square is equal to HF into W by F dash into M into 1 by L, and calculating the value of V, we are saying it becomes 1 by 2 on the right hand side, that is the under root of HF by L into W by F dash M into M. So V is equal to under root of W by Fm F dash or HF by L into M. So C becomes equal to, that is the constant of the charge is constant. So we can write under root of W by under root of F dash as C, that is charge is constant, and I, that is loss of head per unit length of the pipe, is HF by L. So it ultimately becomes equal to V is equal to under root of C under root of Mi. So this is the charges formula. Using the charges formula, we can easily calculate the value of the loss of head due to friction. Pankaj, is it visible to you? Clearly visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Uh, okay. So next is the Reynolds number. You can see Reynolds number and its effect on the pipe friction. Reynolds number is always defined as the ratio of inertia force to the viscous force. So how will you calculate the inertia force? Inertia force is always calculated using the Newton's second law, that is inertia force is equal to mass into acceleration of flowing fluid. So mass is what? This is density into volume, and acceleration is what? It is velocity per unit time. So rho into volume upon time into velocity. So volume upon time becomes equal to what it becomes? It becomes, you all know, that is discharge, or discharge can always be written as area into velocity. So rho into area into velocity. So it becomes rho a v square. So similarly, if you are required to find out the viscous force, that is the denominator of the Reynolds number. So it is shear stress into area. So shear stress is divided by tau into area, that is A. So tau is shear stress is basically is mu dv by dy into the area. Why it is mu dv by uh, dy shear stress? Because according to the Newton's law of viscosity, so it is tau is equal to mu dv by dy. So mu is the kinematic viscosity, dv by dy is the basically shear stress. So Fv is equal to mu into V by L, that is velocity per unit length into area. So Reynolds number becomes equal to Fy by F3, that is inertia force to the viscous force. Next topic is that is the nozzle. So nozzle is basically uh, you have used in your homes also whenever you are connecting your pipe with your tap, you are using nozzle at your home, or whenever you are connecting a nozzle at the outlet of your pipe so that to increase the velocity of the fluid. So a nozzle is basically a tapered mouthpiece which is being used at the end of the pipe, and the total energy at the end of the pipe, you always know that it is the sum of the pressure energy and the kinetic energy, because we have considered that the datum head or the axis of the pipe from the common datum head is always mm, a constant, or always constant, that is Z1 is equal to Z2, so we are not considering the potential head here. So the total energy which is leaving the end of the pipe is the sum of pressure energy and the kinetic energy. So by fitting the nozzle at the end of the pipe, you are converting whole of the energy into the one form of energy that is called the kinetic energy. Because in the case of the nozzle, it is a tapered mouthpiece, that is, it can be converging nozzle, it can be diverging nozzle, or it can be converging diverging nozzle. So in the case of the converging nozzle, at the entry the diameter is more, whereas in the exit the diameter is less. You can see the figure here. I am moving to the next slide. You can see uh, first one figure is a converging nozzle, second one is a diverging nozzle, and third one I'm slightly zooming it so that you can see clearly. So this is the, you can see first figure. This is the converging nozzle where the diameter of the uh, nozzle at the entry is large, whereas at the exit is less. हेलो हेलो,
Yes, sir.
आवाज चली गई थी कभी?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Adi.
sir.
चली गई थी अब भाई।
हाँ हाँ हाँ। तो कन्वर्जिंग नोजल जो है, you can see in the converging nozzle in the first figure, you can see the diameter at the entry is larger as compared to the diameter at exit. Whenever the diameter at exit is lesser, so there is chances of increasing of the velocity, because you are decreasing the pressure, you are increasing the velocity. Whereas in the second figure you can see that at the entry the diameter is less, but whereas at the exit the diameter is more in the second figure. So concentrating on the second figure, you can see the diameter at the exit is more, the velocity will be less, because the pressure will increase, the diameter will be more. If the area is more, the velocity will be less, because uh, from the quantification of flow, or using the principle of the mass conservation principle, that is amount of liquid entering into the pipe must be equal to the amount of liquid leaving that pipe, that is the rate of flow must remain same. So what is rate of flow? It is area into velocity. That is, if the product of area into velocity at entry, uh, let us say is 20, then the area product of area into velocity at exit must be 20. That is, if the area is at a starting point, let us say is 10 meter square, and the velocity is 2 meter per second, whereas the product becomes equal to 20. Whereas at the exit point, in the case of the converging nozzle, the velocity will be more. The velocity will be 10 meter per second, and the area will be 2 meter square. So that is, the product will always be 20. So rate of flow, according to the mass conservation principle, the amount of liquid entering into the pipe must be equal to the amount of liquid leaving that pipe. So in the case of the converging nozzle, you can see whenever we have installed the converging nozzle at the exit of the pipe, whenever the fluid is flowing within the pipe, there are two kinds of energies. First is the pressure energy, second is the kinetic energy. But as soon as you have installed that converging nozzle to the at the exit of the pipe, then whole of the energy is being converted into the kinetic energy. That is a single form of energy. Why it is being converted into a single form of energy? Because you have installed a converging nozzle, and the total head is being converted into the one form of energy that is called the kinetic head. That is, only a pressure energy will be removed, and only the kinetic energy will be left at the exit of the point. Whereas in the case of the diverging nozzle, you can see From the entry to exit, the diameter is increasing. The diameter is increasing, the pressure is increasing, but it will result in the decrease in the velocity of the fluid. So if it is resultant in the it results in a decrease in the uh, velocity of the fluid, then it means there is an increase in the pressure. But the rate of flow, that is the discharge, remains same from entry to exit. So discharge will be same. So you can see there are two kinds of nozzles. First one are the diverging nozzle, convergent nozzle. Second one are the divergent nozzle. So divergent means that is there is always an increase in the diameter from entry to exit, whereas in the converging nozzles there is a decrease in the diameter from entry to exit. Third one is a converging diverging nozzle, as that of the Venturi meter. You can see in the at the starting point, the diameter is very large, whereas whenever it is moving towards the throat at the central point of the nozzle, the diameter becomes constant. So it is that portion of the nozzle is called the throat. So diameter remains constant as that of the throat of the human beings. The diameter is always remains constant from the lower end to the upper end. So as soon as you move from throat to the exit point, the diameter again start increasing. So it becomes diverging part. So first part of the nozzle is called the converging part. In the case of the Venturi meter, whenever the diameter is decreasing from the starting point to the throat point, uh, whereas in the case of the throat, diameter remains constant, and when we are moving from throat to the exit point of the nozzle or exit point of the Venturi meter, then the diameter starts again starts increasing. So the last portion, the first portion is called the converging portion, second part is called the throat, and last one is the diverging. So the cross-sectional area of the diverging nozzle is always increasing continuously from the entry point to the exit point, and it is used in the case when the back pressure is very less as compared to the critical pressure ratio. Whereas the converging nozzle is basically used when the back pressure is always equal to or greater than the critical pressure ratio, and whenever you require uh, the more kinetic head or more kinetic energy or more velocity at the exit of the point. Whereas whenever you require more pressure at the exit, then you can use a diverging nozzle at the end of the pipe. In the next class, we'll do the expression to find out the flow through the nozzle, that is the discharge through the nozzle. So anybody having any doubt, you can ask me.